Nigeria and 5 other African countries have been chosen to begin production of COVID-19 vaccines, with the continent having had limited access to jabs. Director General of the World Health Organization, Tedros Ghebreyesus, announced on Friday that the first 6 countries that will receive technology from the hub to produce their own mRNA vaccines are Egypt, Kenya, Nigeria, Senegal, South Africa, and Tunisia. According to the WHO, these countries were selected in a push to ensure the African continent can make its own jabs to fight COVID and other diseases. According to the WHO chief, we quote, "We expect clinical trials to start in the 4th quarter of this year, with approval expected in 2024. We expect the benefits of this initiative will extend far beyond COVID-19 by creating a platform for vaccines against other diseases, including malaria and tuberculosis." He said that WHO will work with the companies and the government in each country to develop a roadmap for training and production based on their needs and capacities. For what this development may likely portend for Africa's current struggles regarding vaccination against COVID-19, we are now being joined by Professor Oyewale Tomori, a professor of virology, educational administrator, and a consultant with the WHO on COVID-19. You're welcome, Prof. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, my friend. How are you doing today?
Very well, Prof. Always good to have you. Good morning.
My pleasure.
All right. This undoubtedly is good news. This is something that at a point you have even had to shed tears, craving for a day like this. And it also rolls off what WHO said last year, that Nigeria was one of the 4 countries that, did very well in observing the protocols and in dealing with what was required to fight COVID-19. How much of a good news is this to us, Prof? We won't have this approved until 2024, when possibly maybe we wouldn't have to be dealing with COVID-19 at that time. But then good news it is anyway. Talk to us about what to expect and the sort of timelines that will be observed in making this a reality.
Thank you very much. You said good news, and I agree with you. I wish there's something better than good. Best news so far for us in this country. But I think one message I want to pass out is that when a country decides and speaks with one voice, we will go a long distance. This whole thing that came about wasn't just anything, but it was done by so many different groups of people. It was NAFDAC that allotted the BAL vaccine. It was BAL vaccine that sat down, completed the forms, did the interview, and it was the government that did the diplomatic junketing. So all those combined together made it possible. So again, a message for us in Nigeria: when we speak with one voice, we can get to where we want to get. That's number one. Number two, you raised a very important point. Not ready by 2024. We don't know where COVID will be. But this is a catalyst. And remember, WHO did say this is a platform for other diseases. And so we see as a catalyst to move us forward in the area of financing, in the area of skills training, in the area of regulatory authorities, and in the area of technology transfer to get us to where we need to be. Apart from COVID, there are other issues, but we are focusing on COVID. If it's around, no problem. If it's not, then we'll have got the platform for other diseases. I think that's the way I'm more excited than any other thing. We've done well this time. Although I don't agree that we did well with the issue of how we control COVID. But that's a debate between WHO, myself, and other people.
It is, I mean, as you've already said, it's definitely a cause for celebration, because before this development, there were definitely calls for more international companies to share their patents with developing countries in the interest of vaccinating the world and keeping everybody in it as safe as possible. So this is definitely a step in the right direction. But in terms of research and development within Nigeria, this is a great example, as you said, about how synergy works for the betterment of people. But still, when it comes to research and development along scientific lines within this country, we still are lagging quite far behind. In what ways do you think this development can help Nigeria specifically develop more when it comes to research and understanding mutations and viruses, as it were, so that should something like this happen again, heaven forbid, we would be in a stronger, more scientific position to protect ourselves?
Yeah, fantastic. And one of the areas that vaccine will go to with this is what we call the research and development. And one of the plans we actually have at one of the centers we have in Yaba there, we're so well placed, so strategically placed with the University of Lagos down the road, National Institute of Medical Research on the other side of the road, NABDAC on the middle. We will be in the middle, a hub, bringing all of this together. We're not limited to those alone. We'll be, again, the platform for other research centers to come in. I think this is the beginning of great things for us in this country. But it's okay as it is. The beginning is not the end of the story. It is what we do with it. So that unity we've had to get to here must continue at the current level. The government must continue to do its own bit. We as scientists must do our bit, and the people, I mean, we cannot take the people out of all this one. Whatever we do, we must be with the awareness and convince our people that what we're producing will be the best of whatever can be. And one of the mantra of the Bell vaccine is the fact that we will never produce anything that will hurt any person in this country. I mean, that's the main thing. And we're telling everybody from the gatekeeper to the scientist that is working. And we are out on that road. And I'm positive that we'll get it done. But again, back to the point we're saying, we need consistency in our policies. We're looking at election. I was listening to your program with all the Oshun and all the whatever. I hope that the next government, I hope that the next government will not come in. We'll go and renege on all this that have been done. We need consistency. We need continuity. We need sustainability. And that's why I'm a bit equally as worried. My worry is not with WHO or the hub. My worry is at home. Will the next government continue along this line, do better than this one has done over this issue? I mean, you remember we've been battling over the issue of 10 billion for the last 15 months. Exactly. This shouldn't happen. This should not happen. Nigeria can't continue to do this. We're racing. There's 6 other countries. Everybody is watching which country is going to make it. We want to be among the first, among the hub, or what they call it, the spoke, that will listen. It's important for us to get out there and do it. That same collaboration we have, we only push up. South Africa is ahead of all of us, but we want to be the next, and we can do it if we have the cooperation we have, if we have the government that is consistent in its policy, if we have the scientists, like us, who will take this country as number one rather than as self-interest.
All right, Prof. I mean, I totally share your sentiments along this line. The 10 billion approval on paper, what does this do for us so that we do not end up in 4 years' time or in 2 years' time, being at the back of the queue? As you said, South Africa is way ahead already. Egypt is not doing badly. Senegal, with the homegrown test kits that they experimented with, are also not doing badly. What will be your specific suggestions to the outgoing government and the incoming government as to how to key into this very important development? And then what should happen with the 10 billion that we have on paper, and how much more do you think that this will require going forward?
Thank you very much. The total cost will probably be more than the 10 billion. The 10 billion is only an addition, a catalyst. And you'll encourage other people who want to assist you from outside. This government is serious. If you put this amount of money, I think we're looking at the 10 billion comes to about 20-something million. We're looking at about 50 million or something of that nature. Therefore, if the outsiders see that your government has put in 20 billion, then they're more convinced, and they have more confidence that, they too can put their money into it. But when you drag for 15 months to put that money in, nobody trusts you. In fact, everything we've done about vaccine up to now has been stalled because of this 10 billion fracas, or whatever you want to call it. It shouldn't have happened. It's not necessary. They stalled the progress that the bio vaccine was making because we had dragged on and all these things. And you see what is happening in our country. It is not the talk. When they say government has the will is the talk. The commitment is the work. Our governments are full of commitment, or what we are committed, or we have the will. And you talk about political will. Political will is nothing, is gas without the commitment to do the work. And that's where we are in this country. This government, before they even finish their time, and the next one's coming, must match their will with commitment, must match their talk with the work. And until we do that, we're going to be last in this country. And I'm sorry to say that. And that's what is happening. It's not that we don't have the talent. It's not that we don't have the people. But getting all that together, you remember when I said that we're able to succeed in this thing? Because there was combination from everybody. NABDAC came in, vaccine came in, even the government did its own job. And together, we were able to achieve this one. We must continue along that line. This government, the next government, must be committed. Not just all the political things we are hearing. We will do this. How many of the we will do today have they done?
I get you. I understand. I know that the crux of our conversation today is talking about COVID-19, but I wanted to take the opportunity to speak to you about HIV. You would have heard, I'd imagine, a few reports that have been released recently talking about, I'm reluctant to use the word cure, but definitely leaps and bounds being made in the journey to treating this virus. What can you tell us about that, HIV, and the process that scientists have been embarking on to create better treatments for the virus?
I'm quite excited about that, although we're talking a few in number, maybe 2 or 3 now. But if that happened with you, it can happen with many others. And it requires science and development of research and the development is what has led to this one. The more the people put into it, the more I think we're going to find out the solution. You remember talking about the sickle cell. You can do bone marrow transplant and solve all those problems. There's even one lady in the US who, through genetic manipulation, is now free of sickle cell. So nothing is impossible. It requires people being bold, putting money, resources into research, and then getting it done. We have the resources in the human side. The only problem we have in this country is the enabling environment to let our resources function well. And that means money, that means the environment. Your electricity. I was listening also again, I keep drawing about this. When you were talking to the lady from Motion, for half of the time, you couldn't even hear what she was saying. That's technology. We need to go beyond all those kind of things. And that's where we will. So it's good news for researching with HIV. More will come, and as people go this. But those who are benefiting from research are those who have invested in it. When you hear of the internet we're talking about, the U.S. military put in over $250 million over a period of 25 years before we got to where we are. Consistency, sustainability, that's what we need to teach our government, to let them know that it's not just every 4 years you come up with a promise and then forget it, and then come and tell us underline the next 4 years. Time has come for us to be consistent. This country is great. We have the people. We just have unfortunately, we have a problem with the leadership in this country. And that's where we are today.
Right. So thank you so very much, Prof. It's good news. As you said, we wish we could use a better word to celebrate this. You've given the perspective that is necessary for government to key in, and let's believe that the right thing will be done. So thank you so much for joining us this morning.